This is Vijay Chandegra, aka Jode for NJS4E. I'm about to speak to the legendary Jeff Red, also known as former Uptown Records artist, also known as the executive producer on all of Casey and JoJo's albums, also known as the man responsible for getting Guy back together in 1999, and also known as the guy who discovered Mary J. Blige. And before I even attempt to go on, be under no illusion, this man's list of accolades is extraordinary. So let's talk to the man himself. So Jeff, it's great to have you on board with NJS4E. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I didn't know what you were talking about for a minute there.
I was talking about you, man.
Yeah, no. I said, wow, you go through all this stuff, man, and you don't even think about all the things that you've done in the business because you're so busy moving, and trying to do a lot of things, man, because my thing is I like to be able to help others, man. In my career here in this business, probably for over 18 years, I've been able to do a lot of that, so it's been good.
Yeah, before we go into talk about other stuff, I think a lot of fans will have some thoughts on this. You came out with the Quiet Storm album on Uptown, then Down Low in '94, then all of a sudden you stopped recording. You're obviously a talented singer who's made some great music, so why did you stop recording?
Well, at one point in the business, I just got tired of the business of music. It just became too political, and at that point, I just wanted to shut it down and try other avenues in the business. And I went from being an artist to a writer-producer at the time when I went to write for SWV, and then I wrote some stuff for Casey and JoJo, and then I went inside to MCA Records to become an A&R person, and then went on to do things from that point on. So now what I'm doing, this year, 2006, I'll be releasing another record. The first single is going to be titled Hold On, so, be looking out for that.
Do you think NJS4E will get an exclusive listen to that at any point?
Oh, you're gonna get the first one. You'll be the first one to have it. That's my word. No, as soon as I finish mixing it, you guys will be the first ones to have it. I'm giving you the first on all my stuff because I'm actually mixing some of the groups I'm working with now, and you guys will be the first to have it. I want you to be the first to have it. I'm just so, they say things happen for a reason, and just by us connecting over the last week or so has definitely been a blessing to me because I know of the commitment that you guys have to not only New Jack, but to good music.
Yeah, we try and keep it real. I was going to ask you the question, what does the future hold for you in music as an A&R guy, artist, etc.? But I think you kind of answered that. Is there anything you want to add to that?
Well, no, the future holds well. I'm getting ready to roll out the artists on my new label called Soul Real, S-O-L. Second word is Real, R-E-A-L. And the artists that I'm going to put out, one is a group called Black Rose, featuring Who's Who. And these guys are from Ohio, 4 guys out of Ohio. The lead singer is Rose Griffin, who produced on every one of my Casey and JoJo albums, with the exception of one. He's done some things with L.A. Confidential, and he's also like a great bass player and singer, and he's the lead singer. He and I have been working together probably for over the last 10 years. And I took him and his group because they were signed to Aftermath years ago.
I remember them, yeah.
Yeah, and then they were also signed to
Soul Life?
Mike. They were also signed to Mike City's label. I forgot the name of Mike City's label.
Soul Life.
Records, but they never came out. I think it was called Soul
Life.
Soul Life, yes, sir.
That's the one, yeah.
And and now I have them, but they never really put out an album, so I'm going to put out a record on them. I really believe in these guys, and they have crossed between Jodeci and they have melodic structures of the dramatics. So it's very soulful. And then I have another artist, Forever. Forever is he's from Alabama, residing now in Atlanta. And his music, I coined the phrase psychedelic hip-hop funk with a little taste of R&B. And this guy is a cross between Prince Al Green, and he has melodic structures of the Delphonics. So my whole concept of my label is to put out soul music, music that is felt, because I think over the years we got too involved in listening to music instead of feeling it.
Okay. So that's what you've got coming up. Soul Real Records, you've got a few artists on there. Who's Who? Now, that's a name from the past that I remember. They had a fantastic track on that Aftermath album with Dr. Dre. I know that they did some stuff with Soul Life and stuff. It just never saw the light of day, though.
Yeah, and Forever was an artist that I had signed to MCA like about 5 years ago. He was with a group that I put out called 920. 920 had a record called What Would You Do? It was a ballad.
Yeah.
And Antonio Mobley is the artist's name, and he's a great artist, producer. He was a writer for LaFace Camp, and he went from writing to actually, I actually was the one who made him become an artist. And I really believe in these two artists as well. I have a rapper, Star James, who's very like a female Biggie, but you know, her album is almost complete as well. And then I have another young lady by the name of Rockamore, Rockamore, who was out of the Midwest. So I'm just really getting those artists ready and records ready to be put out there early spring. And just have some fun with the music, man. I believe that the music now, what I'm hearing out here, and like I said, I've been listening to music all my life. You know, my first experience with music was going to the Apollo Theater back in like 71.
Wow.
To see James Brown perform. And I mean, when I didn't know who I was going to see, because the landlord of my place where I was living at, where mother lived, his wife wanted to take us to the Apollo. I didn't know where we were going, so we went into the Apollo, stood on line, lines were around the corner. And you know, when I get inside the thing, the lights go off and everybody's screaming, so I had to stand on my chair, and the first thing I heard was, "Are you really ready for some Super Dynamite Soul?" And my life hasn't been the same since. You know, so that's what I want to do, is have that impact and just sell memories to people, create these memories, because there's certain songs that you can remember when you heard them. You remember where you were at. If you hear the song now, you remember the girl you were dating, the car you was driving, the hairstyle you had. I mean, music creates memories. And I think that now the music, being that it's so computer generated, is that it doesn't have the feel that it used to have. You know, and that's what's so real. We want to bring the feel back to it. And what I'm doing as well is I'm doing an open mic night out here in California every other Tuesday. The name of the event is Love Life /So Real. And I mean, last 2 weeks, we have it again tomorrow, but 2 weeks ago we had Allison Williams come perform. We had Terrence Blanchard came through. We had Ollie Wilson from The Temptations. Tomorrow night, Casey and them will probably come through and sing. And it's just this whole movement that I'm creating with So Real that is putting the feel back into the music instead of putting the listen back into it. Let's feel music in. Yeah,
that's interesting that you got Alison Williams to come down, because you did a track with her, didn't you, with on Columbia Records?
I sure did.
So special.
So special, yes. And that was when I recorded that song with her. I want to say it was like in 90 or 91. And that record was used for commercials here in the States for a long time. And she and I have reconnected, and I'm going to probably do some work with her as well. I know what I want to do is I want to set up a tour, and she's already kind of given it a name of the Diva Palooza Tour, and probably put a tour together with her, Melissa Morgan, Lilo Thomas.
Wow, that's some names.
Some of the old cats from that era, and you know, just put them in a few markets and have some fun with it, man. You know, I'm all about the feel of the music. I'm all about the feel of the artist, and soul has been my life, like I said, since I was like 7, 8 years old.
Let's bring it back.